Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Goblin Queen, aka Madelyne Pryor. And I'm very excited to have this figure for multiple reasons, one of which she's carrying. But the biggest reason is I don't have a Goblin Queen or a Madelyne Pryor, because we haven't gotten one from Hasbro. Like, we had the opportunity with the Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, Hell Charger, but that obviously, didn't see fruition. It didn't hit its goal or anything like that. So we didn't end up getting that figure, and that figure obviously was very different from this one because this is based off the show that's coming. But this is our first representation of getting her from Hasbro, if I'm not mistaken. And she doesn't disappoint for the most part. There are a couple things that I think I'm going to change. One of which you can see she's currently standing on a multiverse base stand because, let's get, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this is, spoiler alert, baby Cable, out of her hand real quick, but she has heels, which we have seen, countless times on female Marvel Legends, and they just, like, once you get them in the right spot, they stand for, how long would you guys say? Maybe like 10, 15 seconds, and then they just kerplut, and that's without a cape, and she has a pretty stiff cape on her back, so that's a big part of it. But without further ado, let's get into what Madelyne Pryor comes with. So as you can see on her right now, she does have these open, kind of magic-wielding hands, which look really nice. Let's get the magic effects off there, which we'll talk about those in a second. But I really enjoy these hands. She has her fingernails painted, which is really cool. The rest of her costume comes down onto her hand as well. She has that nice pale skin tone that we see on the rest of the figure as well for her, which looks really cool. And I do like the attention to detail of having the fingernails painted and all that stuff. I really enjoy that. And then speaking of hands, we've seen countless times. She also comes with a pair of fists. Unfortunately, they did not give her any paint on her thumbnail, but that's okay. It's not really a big deal. I'd rather have it on the magic, wielding hands than the fists, because I'm probably just going to have her using the magic wielding hands. She also comes with these very nice translucent green. These give me like Mysterio, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, kind of like green smoke mystical effects to them, and I really enjoy these pieces. I hope we get more of these pieces in the future, like with this color, because this just looks so cool. This just looks so cool. I love it. It looks very kind of wavy and kind of smoky. I really enjoy it. And then last but not least, as we touched on earlier, here he is. This is baby, spoiler alert, Cable. He's got a cute little X blanket on him, which is so cool, and the blanket's like textured and everything. You can see his little hair, his little face, which is printed. It's a separate piece. You can kind of see the molding in there if you look kind of deep in where the neck is right there. But this is so cute. This is just going to be so awesome for ACBA purposes. But he looks so cute. I mean, look at him. You can see where his little feet are in here and where his little arms would be. And it's adorable. And I really, really enjoy that. And now taking a closer look at the detail on the figure, let's start off with her head sculpt, which this head sculpt is very beautiful. I mean, it looks, very, very Jean Grey. If you know, you know. And I love from this angle right here, this looks gives me Shigo vibes from Kim Possible. Anybody else? Like, if you repainted this absolutely be a Shigo head. But the head sculpt looks really good on this. I love this. She has no wash or anything in the hair, unfortunately, but the hair looks really good. It's orange. It is unfortunately a very hard, stiff plastic, which we'll get into when it comes to articulation, and the same thing goes for her cape. But you can see she has the amulet in the middle here, and I know a lot of people are upset about her costume because it's not super revealing like the other one, but this is a very good updated representation of her costume, I feel like. So, get off of it. She has the double-jointed pinless limbs, which is really nice. We've seen these arms before, and we've seen the arms, the hands, and the heels before. I'm pretty sure everything else is complete, brand new, other than the knees, I guess, probably in the lower legs as well, actually. But everything else is brand new on her. You can see, the detailing in her costume and all that stuff. It looks very, almost kind of like royalty. Kind of has like a Hellfire Club kind of look to her, which looks really cool. And I forgot to mention, there actually, on her amulet, there is a little bit of a kind of shiny metallic on her red, which looks really cool. And I do like the gold that's around that too. It looks like it's all separate pieces, which is really nice. Her cape, as I've said multiple times, is very stiff, but it has a nice texture on the inside of it, which is red, and then black on the outside, which looks really good. I am definitely going to look into a third-party cloth option for this, though, because she's just going to have to stay on the base stand, and then I'll just leave her like that forever. But I'd like to be able to mess with this figure, especially after the show comes out. And then if you look at certain angles, her upper thighs right there, they have more of a grayish, but everything else is pretty much cast in black. So it's a nice little attention to detail that I feel like they didn't really have to do, but I appreciate them taking that, you know, extra bit of time and effort into doing that. And then she's kind of leaning a little bit. She got that little bit of a Negan lean right now, but, you know, I want to show you guys that she can stand on her own in at least a vanilla pose if you wanted to keep her that way. You'll have to fiddle with it a little bit, but she definitely can stand. It's just, you know, a pain because it's the heels that we've seen countless times before. Going over her articulation, like I said, her hair is very stiff, so it can only go back, not at all. It can go forward a little bit. She has a little bit of rotation. No, she doesn't. She can't rotate with the hair either. She has really no movement. She can move a little bit to the sides, but no real tilt or anything. I think it's a hinge up in there. Yes. Oh, no, it's not. It's a brand new dumbbell up in there. But that's pretty cool because it also has the skin color around her neck, which you can't even see when the head's on her. But it's a nice little attention to detail that they did not have to do. And as for her arms, they go out that far, rotate all the way around, bicep swivel, double joint elbows that go up all the way. Both her sets of hands go back and forth, and of course, you know, rotate. As for her torso, it can go that far forward, which is not great, but we're used to this, unfortunately, with the female figures, other than Black Widow, which every female figure should be based off of Black Widow figure now. Can go back that far. Got, you know, the diaphragm joint rotation, all that good stuff. Her legs are very tight, by the way. Please be careful with her legs because they can go out that far, which is really nice. But going forward, like you can see, this is giving me a lot of resistance. I did heat them up. That was the best thing I could do, was take them off and heat them up. Maybe even trimming the pegs down in there just a little bit will also help. I just don't want you guys to break your figures. It's always such an awful thing when that happens. But she has a thigh swivel right here about midway, which we're more used to seeing about this low on a loose collector figure. I'm surprised they didn't sculpt right here and make this where the thigh cut is, but it's pretty good. And then her legs go that far back because she's double jointed and pinless, as I said before. She has her ankles, which can go back that far, can go that far forward. She doesn't really have an ankle pivot because it's more of a swivel since it's the heels that we've seen countless times. And, you know, that's just kind of unfortunately the way it is. And I might switch out her feet just to give her flat feet. She'll be a little bit shorter, but And now onto some size comparisons. Here she is next to the X-Men 97 Wave 1 Wolverine and then the Wave 2 Cyclops, and I feel like these three look really good together. She's taller than Logan, but she's shorter than Scott, and I think that's perfect. And then for some other fellow wave mates, here she is next to Nightcrawler and Magneto, and I think these look really great together as well. You know, Nightcrawler's shorter than her, but Magneto's taller than her, and I feel like that works very well as well. Because, you know, spoiler alert, if you guys didn't know, she is a clone of Jean, and Jean typically is around, you know, she's usually sort of an in-between kind of height, and then she has heels on, so it does lift her a little bit. And then, unfortunately, I don't have the X-Men 97 Jean yet, but here she is next to the Dark Phoenix from the retro wave that we got last year, I think, and then the Mafex Spider-Man with the SH Figure Arts Tom Holland head on there. And I think these three look great together as well. I think giving her the flat feet, she'll be more in line with Jean, which is, you know, of course, as we were talking about earlier, that's pretty accurate. And then, you know, Peter typically is usually shorter because whenever he's younger and all that stuff, because he's younger. And I think that works. So overall, I really like this Goblin Queen. She has a very nice shelf presence with her smirk that she's got and her outfit and everything, and holding baby Cable and, you know, using her magic and everything, like you guys, you know, can see right now on screen. And the figure's great. She has, you know, the necessary new parts like we've seen with this entire 97 line so far. And I can't wait to see what they do with her in the show. I'm really excited for the show. And apparently it's only going to be 8 episodes, which is so unfortunate. But, you know, it's to be expected, I guess, because we can't have super nice things for very long, you know. But I guess that's fair. Hopefully they, you know, give us more seasons. I'm sure they will, because I can't imagine, like, I have to imagine that it's going to break similar records to what Clone Wars did. I hope, anyway. It's where we get a couple more seasons of X-Men 97. But yeah, this is a pretty solid figure, and if you don't have a Goblin Queen, which you really shouldn't unless it's a custom, obviously, or if you are someone who really wanted her to be in that classic, you know, kind of skimpy costume, then you might want to pass on this, I guess. But we're probably never going to get that from Hasbro, just because it is, like I said, it's a very skimpy outfit. So I think this is a very good update to her costume. You know, it shows, you know, some skin, but it's not overly provocative like the classic suit. And I think this is more practical and it works well for her. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See you.